Hello.
Hello.
Cecil. This is the first time Cecil's seen the new clipboard. He's trying to figure out how to destroy it. Right, Cecil? Get the paper. How do we get the paper out of the clipboard? When it's behind plastic.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Buktiar Shah. Hello, Jocelyn. See you guys in there. This is going to be a continuation of what we were talking about last time, and we'll watch Cecil try to kill the clipboard at the same time. Not as easy to tear up as paper, though, but you can destroy plastic, I know. Lucy's decided to get down on my leg and sit there. I have no idea why this started so early.
It's funny.
Silly girl. And Sugar's in her usual spot. Right, Shug? Yeah. Mander's back in the corner over there. His spot. And Jasmine's in her number one spot. She has 3 basic areas she goes to, but I think I need to put some more stuff on that. Now that I got more fluff to put on her toys, I put some more stuff to get her more interested in that toy. Or I'll just put a new toy over there. Cecil, what? You just going to sit there all day and see if you can destroy it? What? He's learned that by using his foot, he can get a reaction, so he's trying to get me to take that out of that spot. Aren't you? Aren't you? 2 more days, we should have KK's cage. Right, KK? He says, I'll believe it when I see it. Nope, I forgot to put the... Bear with me a second. I got to put this online meeting focus, or somebody will get through on a phone call.
Let's say hello to some more chatters. So we have Lisa Banerjee here, Calvin Thurston, and Falconsu. So hello to you guys.
Hey, hello. Cecil's trying to figure out how to destroy the clipboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can
Maybe
fight it,
Lucy's
but
also interested in the clipboard, so she came over.
Maybe we should take bets on how long it'll survive.
Is that allowed? Probably not, but as long as we just make, virtual bets, that's always okay. Oh my, got a donation from Lisa, about $50. So thank you so much for Kiki's Cage.
Thank you, Lisa. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, Lisa. You salt? You gonna say thank you, or are you gonna try to kill the clipboard? Kill the clipboard? Shame on you. You should say thank you. Can you say thank you? No. Once in a while, hello. Once in a while, Cecil. Once in a while, hi. When you don't have the camera on you, that's how you do it.
Oh, and of
Obsessed,
course,
are we?
thank you to Rico.
Oh, definitely. Thank you, Rico.
Lisa says it's from Rico. So thanks, Rico.
Rico is quite generous.
Yes.
Stop trying to eat that thing. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with this Cecil? Why did I hide your paper behind plastic?
Oh, has the new clipboard some tricks? Yeah, look, Lucy is eyeing the Cecil boy. At least sometimes, secretly.
Yeah, she glances up at him on occasion.
Such a sweetie boy.
To see what the maniac is doing. What are you doing, you crazy bird?
Yesterday, Cecil was in a bit strange mood. He needed all the attention and all the cuddles.
He's a sensitive soul, you know.
He was having a Boo Radley moment. Weren't you?
The rest is quite calm today, so no trouble with the Moluccans. The aunties are probably kind of sleeping. Shuggy has maybe an eye open to see if there is a chance for bee grubs. Oh, Kiki, that's a lovely nest.
Nope. Cecil, he found a spot he could break. He hasn't done it yet, but he almost did. You watch yourself now. You watch yourself. You watch yourself, Cecil bird. They didn't have a metal one like that, or I would have got a metal one. Less likely you could break it.
Has Lucy changed the foot?
Yep. You know what you're doing down there, Liz? You know what you're doing down there, Lucy?
A goose is loose on the floor.
That's bizarre. In the past, when I've turned the phone sideways, the screen went weird. Huh? How does it look to you guys? Okay.
Excellent.
Oh, good, because before when I did this, I could only see about half the screen. Now it looks like I can see. I can also see comments and stuff on the side. So that's much better. An improvement.
Yeah.
What are you doing? No, you're not going to break it. You're not. You're not. The best laid plans of mice and men, huh? You know where to break it now. You know how to get your beak under it. I watched you do it, so I'm not going to do it again. Let me see about the oven.
Miss Goose is looking up, but she's not pretty birding yet.
Nope, not yet. Ah, what did he do? Is this going to be Watch the Cecil Try to Destroy Everything episode? Is that what it's going to be?
Not everything. I think he will protect the nest.
Well, you know, we got to keep the viewers entertained. And Cecil's
I could have.
the job.
No. I could have brought this out yesterday and kind of trained him on it, but I thought it'd be more fun to watch him try to destroy it. So
Certainly it is.
can just see the gears inside his head turning.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're
How
trying.
to destroy. How to get the piece of paper.
That's what he wants. I can see it. I see it in there. I just don't know how to get to it. What's with that big foot?
Dino feed.
Lucy, what are you doing now? Pretty bird? Not yet. Not pretty bird yet.
Mm.
It'll be great when they give me the ability to switch cameras from the main screen. That's the thing I'm waiting for. But
So thank you, Thunderbing. He just donated $5 to us. So thank you so much for that.
oh, thank
Yay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. So much appreciated, right, Sugarbird?
Oh, it is. And I don't get tired of these thank you video. It's just awesome.
I'm thinking about adding maybe another 5-second clip or something to it.
Yeah, thanks to all these donations. I think last week Don put up some photos of the toy corner, which was completely refilled with pieces, so we can make new toys for the birds.
Yeah, there's a lot of toy pieces. That's why there's actually 2 walls that are covered in bins for them. But now I have to clean off that table. I got a box out of the storage room that had a ton of stuff from when we were in Fallbrook, and I needed some more beads, and I filled up those bins that you saw there with the toys in them. I filled up an entire bin with beads, the kind of beads I use to separate from one piece of wood to the next. I'll take a bead, and then I'll put like a spinning wheel on it, then I'll put another bead, then I'll put a piece of wood, then I'll put a piece of leather with a couple of finger traps on it, or a small pine cone, a nut and washer toy, that kind of thing. I just kind of build it up that way. Throw on a pine ring, this is the ones that Sugar likes. Sugar, you want a pine ring? Palm ring. That's actually palm, not pine. Cecil, stop that. Thank you. Second, I look away. He's found a spot where he can get his beak under it. That's what he's trying to do now. Cecil. No. No, stop that. No. See if I can trick him over there. Oh yeah, he's gonna climb down my arm. See, that's the trick. If he's on my arm, I can't hide it from him, right? You're gonna make me hunt around to try to find one that's got a metal case on it that you can't break, aren't you? You are, aren't you?
Thunderbing is just telling that Thunderbing received the Chloe Sanctuary calendar and says the photos are beautiful. So thank you for that. I'm happy you like it.
Yep. You did a great job on it, Amy.
Oh, thank you. Well, the birds did the best job. They modeled.
Yeah.
It's so easy when you have great photo models.
Sugar dropped the
And they
toy
all
she
did
was
an
holding.
amazing job. Huh? Yeah, Shuggy. Yeah,
She
you look
dropped her
cute.
toy right on Lucy's head.
Oh my.
Get out of there. No. Okay. I just so I can glance to see what I'm going to talk about. So, in order to really understand these guys, when you observe them, you use what we call the ABC formula, and they picked these words specifically because it made ABC, but it can be a little confusing for the people who are just starting to work with it. Antecedent, behavior, consequence. So whatever comes, there's something that comes before, which quite frequently cues the behavior. Then there's the behavior, and then there's the consequence. But the real reason they're doing the behavior is because of the consequence they're trying to get. So you focus on looking to see what's in the area, whatever it was that could have cued or signaled the behavior. And you look at, then you see what the behavior was and the consequence they got. So my funniest example of that, which I've used before, but it's a good example, is of the lady who had a military macaw, and this bird liked to have its beak, liked her to grab its beak and then scream. They all have different preferences. This is what the bird liked. So the bird would come over and try to bite at her leg, and she would grab its beak and scream, and the bird would be, of course, happy about that. And no, you're not going to do it. I see what you're doing there, kid. No, that one spot he can get his beak under. You have the whole thing on one spot that's weak, and it's right there, and he's going for it. You want to find out what's a weak spot? Watch him. He'll show you the weak spots on everything, won't you, boy? So anyway, she said, "See, I've trained my bird to come on, Cecil. I've trained my bird that when it comes over, I will shake its beak so it doesn't try to bite my leg." But the secret there, if you really observed it, and I did observe it twice, is that the bird had trained her so that when he wanted to get his beak shaken and he wanted to be yelled at, she would do it. So it depends on what perspective.
There, isn't it? It's like,
Huh?
why on earth would a parrot want to have its beak shaken and be screamed at? But they're so chaotic.
Well, the screaming, they're loud anyway, so a human doesn't normally even get to the level of noise they can make. I shouldn't say noise, but vocalization. It just, that was kind of a mating behavior for it, I think. But it was funny. I didn't tell her that she was the one. Not only was the bird trained, but she was trained as well. And it is kind of a mutual thing. But again, you have to look at the antecedents. What happens? The antecedent if you look at it from her side, well, she's the one shaking the beak. So if you look at the antecedents, bird runs over and starts to open its beak toward her leg. She reaches down, grabs the beak, and starts screaming at it, right? So, and the consequence is that the bird doesn't bite the leg. That is, if you're looking at it from her viewpoint. From the bird's viewpoint, it's, I see a leg, and I want to have my beak shaken. No. And I want to have my beak shaken, so I run over, and when I open my beak, she shakes my beak the way I like. So the antecedent is, in this case, the leg that's available plus the desire to, the bird wants something, runs over and does its behavior to get the consequence it wants. If you start looking at things like that, it's a lot easier to deal with behavior. You notice now he's kind of wearing out on this a little bit. He had to take a break.
But I guess the consequences that they want are not always easy for us to discern, are they?
No. And if you can ever get a copy of Paul Chance's Learning and Behavior, which is the standard book on ABA that they use in college for graduate, sophomore and graduate level, there's an example in there of and I know I've told this one before, but this is a good place to bring it up again. There's this little boy who has his hands handcuffed, and he's autistic because of ABA really came out of the world, the autistic world, right? It's how you deal with autistic children. So they couldn't figure out what to do, because if you take the handcuffs off, this kid would beat himself bloody in the face. So they had someone who was a practitioner of ABA sit on the double-sided mirror and watch for 2 days. At the end of 2 days, he had it. So what he did is he took these heavy-duty real handcuffs, took them off, but first thing he did was put on a pair of plastic handcuffs, and then he removed the metal handcuffs. And everything was fine. And a few days later, they took a rope and put the rope around each wrist and tied it, and then took off the plastic handcuffs. And after 2 weeks, they were able to take this child to a restaurant, and he would eat. He just had to have a string tied to each arm. A thin string, almost like a thread, but it had to be strong enough where he couldn't break it. That's how they were able to take him to a restaurant, and they sat and ate. And that was through observing the reactions that the child had, because someone would come in and start to take off the handcuffs, and the child would get agitated. He just watched all the interactions for 2 days, and at the end of 2 days came up with that determination. And sometimes it doesn't happen right away. We, as I was talking about last time, we humans, we don't see reality. We make a model of reality. Our brain makes a model of reality, and it isn't always right. In fact, it's usually quite imperfect. So you have to see things over and over again. But if you remember ABC, antecedent, what comes first, the behavior, and then the consequence, and the consequence is a function of the behavior, or I should say the behavior is a function of the consequence. So I had I thought of a simpler way. I was writing a book about this at one point, but a simpler way to say it. But basically, you have an environment with something in it that attracts a bird's attention, and then in order to achieve a consequence, it does a certain behavior. Such as with Cecil, he's now stopped going after the clipboard. Such as with Cecil, there was if this clipboard wasn't in here, he wouldn't have done those behaviors. So in certain environments, I mean, you're not going to sit down in a public restroom and play canasta. Whip out the cards, let's play canasta. That's not going to happen, right? Environment is important. So a lot of times there's things we put in an environment, they see it, we don't realize it, and they start having behavior issues. If I were to drop something, let's say you hate scorpions, okay? And I drop a scorpion in your room, you're going to get different behaviors from you when you see the scorpion. The difference with them is that their vision is much better than ours, so you could put some small thing in that room, and all of a sudden, you now have an antecedent that sparks a behavior, that signals a behavior. So just like you might run out of the room, or my most humorous example of that is a good friend of mine, June, who was the office manager at one of the companies I worked at before I got into doing computer work. We were in the office and talking, and all of a sudden, she had one of those chairs, the kind that, swivel office chair, and they're not easy to stand on, right? I mean, if you stand on one, it's she leapt off the floor and landed on that perfectly. Jumped right onto it and started going, ah! Now, that behavior by itself is what we would react. We see a bird doing something, we say, well, that's really strange behavior. But when you add the fact she saw a mouse and she's horribly afraid of mice, then it makes sense, right? So when you're looking at behavior and you see something odd, there's something going on, okay? And the key there is to try to figure out what it is. And the ABCs will help you. What's in the environment? What are the A's? There are people who have told me that when they come home, they go right over to the cage, and if they try to take the bird out, they get bitten. Okay. Then there's people who tell me if they come home, they don't go right over to the bird, they just go along, then the bird won't come out. I mean, there's lots of different behaviors. These guys are not, they're complicated. Dogs and cats, their behavior is always complicated, but compared to cockatoos or parrots in general, these guys are the cockatoos are seen to be the most complicated to figure out, but it depends. There's a lot of variation. You could have an Amazon that's really complicated too, but these guys are they're so socially needed. You have to focus on the differences in species. Now he's back at this. He's like, this is more interesting than playing with the cardboard. Seesaw.
Yeah, thinking about when you come home, I've never heard of a dog that gives you the cold shoulder if you don't pet him immediately when you come home. He'll just follow you around until you do, with hope in his eyes.
Nope. They're complicated, and they're awfully smart. And sometimes I'm not going to let you do that either. The other side's got one like that. Yo. Okay, we'll move it. This is a good example too. We're just looking for antecedents. We know that this is an antecedent. What's he going to do when I move it? So I've now changed the situation. He's going to climb down my arm because that's the easiest way to stop me from moving it. He's actually he's wiggling back and forth.
And having him immediately would be an antecedent because you're distracted and have only one free hand.
He's looking for those distractions as well. So when the environment is such that he can get to it without my paying attention, that's when he's most likely going to go for it. So you have to time things too when you're looking at ABCs. You have to look at the time of day, your attitude, the kind of clothing you're wearing. I mean, people think, well, what does that make a difference? Well, you come out dressed like Michael Jackson doing Thriller, and you look at what your bird does. I mean, I don't even have to go that far. No, I never have, actually, fortunately. But nor do I have any dancing skill. But all I have to do is put a hat on or something like that. Whoa, boy, that's the end of the world. It's just, how dare you change yourself?
Do we have a casel situation? Not
We
full.
do.
We can distinct them, but so cute. These boys, they're such good friends.
They are. They've gotten to be good friends.
KK, probably so happy to come here. So he has met Cecil Bird.
Now, when I take this thing away from him that he's trying to get, that acts as negative punishment. It's negative because I'm taking something away, and it's punishing because it takes away. You're trying to either reduce or extinguish a behavior. Again, I have to say that punishment doesn't mean the same thing in behavior. I've had people jump on me about, you should never punish your birds. And okay, then when your child runs up and puts their hand on the stove, just let them burn their fingers. Because if you take them away from that behavior, if you pull them away, that's punishment. You're trying to extinguish the behavior, not just the fingers. You're trying to extinguish the behavior, right? So these are just terms. Every discipline has its own terms. And I can't think of, I tried to think, is there a better word than punishment? Not really. And it was the original gentleman who came up with the concept of behaviorism. That was his word for it. You know, there's reward and punishment. So, and if you're trying to get a behavior out of a bird and they're not doing it and you're not rewarding them, congratulations, that's negative punishment. Positive punishment is when you do something like, if a bird is trying to bite you and you rotate your hand so that they have to step back. I mean, you're adding something. You could argue that either way. That's it, one of those points. But you are adding something. You're adding a turning wrist. But in their case, you're also doing something negative. You're taking away their balance. As long as you understand what you're doing, the words don't matter. But because they're both correct. Right, big boy? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you lose your balance. Big old hand, little bird. Little bird with big attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So
Where's
I think
Lucy?
we'll just, yeah, she's still sitting down there. Hi, Luce.
You stubborn little girl, Dandy. Let's say hey to Jem and Jamie who just entered the chat. So hello, Jamin.
Hello.
Oh, my Cecil.
So something to practice before our next video is practice just saying, what are the antecedents? When you see a behavior, what led up to it? What are the things in the room? What are the behaviors around? I get to count the people and other things in the room too. What led to this particular behavior? So sometimes it's simple. You have a bird jump up and come over to you because you're offering a piece of food. Well, we know it. The antecedent was the food in the room. That's the major antecedent. And the room was conducive to that. I mean, if you'd been holding a snake and a piece of their favorite treat, they probably wouldn't come over. So again, the other things they apply too. But start to look at things that way and realize that behavior is consequence driven. So you don't go to work for fun. Well, there are some people, but we don't talk about the crazy people. Most people go to work to get that paycheck, and if they don't get it, they're not coming back. So, and if you went to get the paycheck and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're not paying you this week," that would be positive punishment, wouldn't it? Would it be positive or would it be negative? Right? Negative punishment. Negative because they're taking away something. But why would they be doing that? Are they trying to extinguish your desire to be paid? Wouldn't make much sense, but.
So we just received a donation from Jem and Jamie, so thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. Here we got a video for you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, Jam and Janie.
Then, hello and welcome to Spirit Matter.
Hello.
Hello, Spirit Matter. Yeah, that one feature of ABA, if you can just, when I learned this from more than one time, I went through this, but when you learn it, you don't generally try to shove everything down that person's throat in one week, or we usually had a couple of weeks to absorb everything that we were learning. We were learning new things, but absorbing the old. So thinking in ABCs it's just a way of becomes a way of life. As you can see now, Cecil's over here. I just kept giving him negative punishment, taking it away, taking it away, taking it away, and then he found something else to replace the desire. He's not done with it. He'll keep trying, but at the moment, his desire is extinguished. So if I put it on my lap, I'll bet you he'd come out again. And that's another thing. That would be adding a stimulus into the environment that would cause a behavior. What is he trying to do? He's trying to tear. He likes it. They like to tear things up. That's kind of what their job is in the forest. They're wrecking balls. And not just in the forest. They do a good job in Australia too. Not the umbrellas, but the greater sulfurs do. Nice trash can you got there. As they double team to open it. Hey, well, look. Those humans put 2 bricks on this one. As they climb up, push the brick off the trash. Right, Sugar? The thing about dealing with parrots is they're so darn smart. I mean, it's not that difficult usually, just if you have even basic animal training to get a dog to stop a particular behavior. Again, you're looking at what can I do to change the environment? What can I give them as an alternative, as a consequence that they would prefer or at least fill their need? Um, and that's how it really helps because you start looking at the environment, you start looking at the behavior, and then the things that the bird is doing, and you can start making changes gradually. Wake up over there, Jazz. Lucy, what are you doing? What you doing, Luce? Why are you pointing that thing at me? Hmm? Why are you pointing that thing at me?
She's so cute.
Oh, she's something else. I had to buy a bench vise because she likes these small blocks of balsa wood, and if you try to drill those without a bench vise, it's a real pain. But if you got a bench vise, you can drill little holes in it and then stick cork in it. She likes to pull the corks out, chew them up. That's what she likes to do. And then she goes after the balsa wood and chews that up. She doesn't like hardwood. And it's probably because they damaged her beak. I mean, she could use her beak like that now, but I think she's forgotten how to chew hardwood. Right, Lucy? Silly girl. Silly girl.
Kaysil. And that's light wine. Is it already time to start the one? We
Let me
basically
see if
don't hear and see nothing from the Moluccans. Jasmine has gone completely back there. Also, Manda does do nothing. Oh yeah, we have the fitting question from Thunderbing here to you, Don. When you do live streams, the birds are pretty quiet. Is this normal behavior for them?
at this time of day, yes. Other times of day, not so much. Generally, at the end of the live stream, within a few minutes, they'll all start acting crazy and doing stuff. They know when I'm holding the phone and I'm talking, I'm less likely to give them as much attention as they want. What are you doing?
Hmm. Yeah, actually,
Decided.
it's around 12 o'clock at Don's place. It's the afternoon nap time for the birds. So usually they also rest in nature at this time of the day. But these guys, they also know that Don is talking and has not so much time for them, so they just rest and yeah, they give full speed afterwards often.
Over here. Over here.
Then the
She
sheep
walked.
cows is coming.
She walked away because she had to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said, "What are you doing?" Well, she didn't want to poop on me, so she went over there.
A good girl, Shug.
Yeah. What are you doing? Saw me petting Sugar, huh? I figured you could get away with that.
I
Did
think
you?
he's still interested in that
Oh, he is.
sheet of paper who is protected by some invisible force. Plexiglass.
Probably acrylic. I would imagine it's acrylic.
Mm.
Plexiglass is kind of expensive, and it doesn't make good corners like that.
Mm.
I would prefer to have it in a metal case with plexiglass. Not much chance that he could break that, but couldn't find a metal one.
Security glass for bulletproof or something like that. Cecil comes
Pretty,
around the corner crack.
pretty much. He should have his face on a security company's billboard. Tested by Cecil.
That's actually a thing. I think just giving it to birds and let them handle it for about, I don't know, an hour or a day and see what happens if it is really, really safe.
It wouldn't last 10 minutes if I just left it for him to chew on,
Mm.
because he's good at finding the weak points and things. So he found it on the other side. There's a weak point on it. This side doesn't have that same point. So yeah. It's still there. See, he can get his beak under that. So I'll have to see if I can find something that I can use with the safe adhesive to keep him from doing that. You want to play with it some more? Shall we change the antecedent just a little bit? Can we do that? Hmm? Not without you grabbing my hand, right? Nope. So what did he get the last time that he came over and tried to get it off the table? What happened? He didn't get it, right? And I brought it back over here. So what's he doing now? He's hesitating about going over for it because last time he didn't get it when he tried that. What did you do? I didn't see you. Oh, there it is. You already broke it? Figures. I thought I still had that other ball with a rattle in it. That might be almost as interesting to him as this. Not quite, but almost. A rattle ball would probably get his attention. Can you say that, Cecil? A, B, C? Antecedent, behavior, consequence? See, I know him well enough to know what certain things would probably do. If I were to grab the edge of that that's closest to him, my hand would be in jeopardy. Not because he wants to bite my hand, but because he is willing to go through my hand to get to this. Sorry, Shug. I moved her perch a little bit. But Lucy, that tickles. Oh, it gets pretty rowdy in here. I think Amy and Eleanor can attest to that, but not generally when I'm doing a live. Although it does happen, doesn't it, KK? Yeah. What's up, KK?
Rap?
When you talk to him, if he's doing something, he usually goes. He's
Interesting.
acknowledged. I heard you. Is sort of how I take that. I'm busy, but I heard you. Well, don't look like I'm going to hit you or something. I'm not going to do that. You know I'm not going to hit the boy. That's actually, he's just repositioning himself when he backs away like that, because he's trying to get in a better position to attack it. Aren't you? Don't get my hand too close. No. Lucy, not. Let's change it up a little bit. Put it over here. The new antecedent, move it a little farther away. Mr. I don't fly. It would be a different situation if he did actually choose to fly. He only flies when afraid. It's an invisible skill to him. Well, now I've turned it a different way. Now, if you haven't had a lot of practice working with a bird, I wouldn't attempt this myself. Taking something from a bird that they want to play with could be painful, but that's up to you whether you choose the red pill or the blue. So, all right, Cecil? You're a good bird. You're a good boy. Now here I'm rewarding him for just sitting next to me and not going after the clipboard. I don't know how many times I would have to do this. We call this a secondary reinforcer. It's not, for most birds, it's not primary to say good bird and pet them. That's not primary. Primary would be food, but I have seen birds where they don't care about food. They just want to be petted. So, especially umbrellas. That they definitely have the they pull the heartstrings of people. Oh, especially when they see them and they're young. Oh, but yeah, they're complicated though. It's worthwhile dealing with a rescue cockatoo, but either you have to have patience or you better develop it. There's a few lucky people who get an umbrella that don't have issues. It's not the bird's fault, but issues because they don't understand how to work with them or their needs. You don't know their needs, you end up with a problem. See, he's all happy now. He's not even thinking about the clipboard. I really didn't need it much because I was going to talk about ABCs today, but I wanted to bring it in and start working with him so he gets used to it. Then I'll start giving him something alternate, giving him a piece of paper or something that looks like a clipboard. Take a piece of cardboard and make it look like a clipboard. But it's a good example of dealing with a bird looking for ABCs, and right now he's getting rewarded for being calm. Big boy. Also helps to take any stress off him because he wanted something so bad. So getting that stress off of him is a good thing. Right, Cecil? You're a good bird. You're a good bird. I imagine he would have been something in the wild. Wouldn't you? Yeah, he would have been a good daddy.
Certainly.
And someone over here would definitely have been making good nests. It's sad that he has that scissor beak, and that's really a breeder thing. Breeders cause that by the way they feed these birds. Occasionally it can happen for another reason, but in most cases it's improper feeding of the young. They get treated a little bit better than these chickens that are kept in battery cages, but for them, the right size cage is probably about 40 miles by 40 miles. What are you doing down there? Well, what are you doing? What are you doing, Lucy Bird? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Luce. What's up? What are you doing? Well, you're not saying pretty bird, so you don't want up. What are you doing?
Maybe she wants popcorn.
Yeah. Pretty much most of the time, if you offer her popcorn, she'll take it.
I'd love to have some popcorn now.
What are you doing, little girl? What are you doing?
She's probably guarding your feet.
Well, it won't be too long till Valentine's Day, so you'll find some cool stuff that Amy has put together on our merchandise site.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, the time is running.
Yeah.
I'm still like, so, oh, New Year. It's Valentine. What? Come on, guys. But yeah, it's true. We have some lovely cards and pillows and other stuff with Cecil and hearts on it. So I think
Bye,
there's a
Lisa.
card
Have a good day.
with Cecil and saying, "Be my Valentine." Oh, Lisa, yeah, have a good day. And we have a
Thanks
last
again.
question by Thunderbing, who wants to know how many birds are in the sanctuary. Oh, cool. We lost Dawn. Moop. So I think there are 12 birds in the sanctuary. So after we lost Peach, there KK came in, and there comes Dawn in finally.
Yeah, I don't know what I hit, but it all went wrong.
So whoop, there we have the picture again. So everything's fine. I answered Thunderbing's question that there are 12 birds in the sanctuary. So we have 3 Moluccans, the 2 aunties and Mander. Then we have 2 Tritons, Babaloo and Pippa, and the rest are umbrella birds, umbrella cockatoos.
Umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Umbrellas? Are you an umbrella? Did I take it away? I did. I'm evil. Yep, 12. I don't think I could do more than 12 by myself. And since I got out here, I was misinformed. I was told that, oh, yeah, you'll be able to get a lot of volunteers out here. It's a small town, and so far people are like, they look at you like, oh, yeah, I'd be interested in that, and that's the last you hear from them. So. Those 2. Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you, Amy and Eleanor, for hanging out and being moderators. And
yeah, thanks everybody for coming, and thank you, Don, for the stream. Our next live stream will be on Wednesday, same time, same place. So we hope to see you there.
Same bat channel. Right? Sugar, you have any last words? No, just pet my beak when you're done. There's that. That's the look she gives me when she's examining me for, can I get you to pet my beak? Yeah, she's going to yawn at me now. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.